It's where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's Newcastle United versus Arsenal match preview. Alex will be with us shortly. He's just been delayed in traffic after work. So at the moment, it is just me and Billy Bob. But we will bring you, the preview. I mean, God, we are flying at the minute. The previews are coming in thick and fast. The reviews, the watch-alongs, everything else that goes with it. It is it's certainly a very busy time for all associated with Newcastle United. But we'd rather have it that way, Billy, than any other way, wouldn't we?
Well, it's the part of success, isn't it? You know, all these games midweek because of cup competitions that under a recent regime we would never have been involved in at this time of the year. Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant to be able to do preview, match review on a constant circle. It's brilliant.
And I think the players would rather have it that way as well. Plenty games for them to get stuck into. If you do enjoy tonight, guys, please do give it the thumbs up as per usual. Very important we keep those likes coming in. Let's see if we can hit 600 again on the stream. That would be awesome. And of course, if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It's free to do so. Come and be part of this incredible community on the Toon Review. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, which will let you know when we go live or we schedule any videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting the join button just underneath us. And of course, you can donate as usual to the channel by hitting the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And you'll also get your comment read straight out. Bit of a 2-in-1 show tonight, guys, because what we're going to do is the last sort of part of the show. We're going to open it up to you guys to come and join us live on the show. Tell us what you thought about Wednesday night and what you think about tomorrow night against Arsenal. I'll put the link up very, very soon for you to do that. And then you can come into the queue. You don't have to come on camera. You can just use your microphone and on your laptop or your phone or whatever it may be, and just have a chat with us about what you think is going on at Newcastle United. But a little bit of dark news to start on, Billy, is of course Sandro Tonali, this never-ending saga that seems to be going on at the moment. The FA look like they've opened up their own investigation to see if Tonali was indeed betting when he signed for Newcastle United. Now, obviously, you know, the season is very early, so there couldn't have been a lot of games. But a lot of people are saying, well, if he's an addict, then, you know, the chances are that he has been doing it. And of course, you mentioned this when the investigation started. I'll be disappointed if he has, but I mean, I don't see what could possibly happen. He's got his ban, everything like that. Would the FA extend his ban or something like that?
Well, maybe not extend it, but they might kind of force one that could run concurrently. I'm sure they couldn't delay it till the Italian ones ended. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure they couldn't do that, but they could give him a longer ban. And it depends what he's been betting on. If they do find he has been betting, we don't know he has, of course, but he's an addict. You know, it took him a couple of months for him to admit that, and only because he was caught then. Mm-hmm. So it's potentially that he could have been betting on Newcastle games. Yeah. Whether he's betting on us to lose, makes it a darker thing, in my opinion. It's all hypothetical. We don't know. But there's potential for that, isn't there? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I've said that all along, really, all from minute one. You know, so we shall see. It's we can't really comment on it until we see if he's been doing it or not.
Stato joins us. Good evening, buddy.
Oh, Alex.
Hello, how are we doing? Yeah, I've had some funny news today, but I've been busy. So what's going on?
Just the news on Tonali. The FA have opened up an investigation regarding Tonali and possible betting since he signed for Newcastle United. So The saga hasn't ended as such, but we don't know anything on it, so we're just sort of bringing that news to the viewers, and then we'll move on because don't want to stick on that too long. Clive says, do you think, being man of the match, do you think Howe would drop Tino? Well, he did last time. I think Livramento knows where he stands, doesn't he? I think at the end of the day, he knows that Trippier's in front of him. Trippier's sort of one of the first names on the team sheet, especially for the Premier League. So I fully expect Trippier to come back in tomorrow. But at least we know that, like we've been saying, what a hell of a stand-in that Livramento is at the minute, and he will be the future of the fullback position at Newcastle. David Smith, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, I know it's a game of ifs and buts, but if we had held on to our leads at Liverpool, West Ham and Wolves, we would be right up there. We would. I know it's hypothetical, but you could honestly say, well, if Manchester City didn't lose at such and such, they'd be, you could say that across the course of a season. But you are right, we could be a lot higher, but we're not. Pedro, good evening. Jexel1 says, I appreciate that we may be discussing it second half of the show, but I'm still buzzing about the result on Wednesday. Sad about Tonali, but let's stay positive. Big Ass Bloke says, honestly, he also played when in Newcastle. I wouldn't be surprised if they will ban him from training like Ivan Toney, but I can't see them extending it. Jam Stasher says, sorry, just realised we're finished with Man U and moved on to Arsenal. Well, we'll never be kind of over the Man United one. We have moved on, obviously, but we'll never move on completely from what happened on Wednesday because it was just sudden delightful. And I think everybody loved what was going on there. And of course, we'll hear from some of you lot later on in the show. Paul Tully says, seems standard procedure for the FA. It doesn't mean anything as yet. Stephen says they could stop him taking part in training. That's the one I'm worried about, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, there is potential for that. But of course, they've got to find him guilty first. He may not have been doing any gambling while he's been in this country. So until they find out he has been and what he's been betting on, I don't think it's something worth discussing, to be honest.
Absolutely. Pedro says Premier League referee Anthony Taylor's been demoted to the Championship for this round of fixtures. I seen that just before we came on air, actually. I find that hilarious, Alex.
Why? What did he do?
I don't know.
The penalty last week, apparently it was never a penalty in Edmonton Sundays.
Oh, that was him.
Despite us seeing it as a bit of a Stonewall one.
Oh, so they're demoting him for the Fabian Schär one?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
I mean, I've not seen anyone
look at that.
Apart, they did. But I mean, to me, I think the bloke caught him in the area without touching the ball. It's a penalty.
I mean, it's one of those where there are arguments to be made that it's soft or not soft, but at the end of the day, I heard a lot of people saying, well, there's contact, so you can see why it's been given. Always, at the end of the day, always. There's contact, it's been given. It's not like an outrageous error where it's an incorrect offside or something, or there was no contact, because he kicked him in the box.
He's been demoted.
Quite conclusive.
The PGMOL haven't sent any apologies to the Wolverhampton Wanderers, which
they should. They don't deserve one because it was a penalty.
Makes no sense. Well, what are they demoting him for then? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You can't do one without the other. If they think he's been that bad, they've got to demote him to the Championship for that one decision. Then why haven't they apologised?
Well, this is what the report says from Pedro. He says Taylor, 45, is under fire after he controversially handed Newcastle a penalty during their trip to Wolves last weekend.
Well, VAR looked at it, didn't send him to the screen. So apart from that, he's done nothing wrong.
Exactly. I don't understand it. So are they going to demote all the people that were in VAR as well?
Well, they haven't done. Simple as that. And what they're saying is he's made a massive mistake, but they haven't apologised to Wolverhampton Wanderers for the mistake. Every other occasion when that's happened, they have. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, I've got to say.
But then again, when does it ever make sense what they do? Bad luck with Matty Targett. Eddie said today in the press conference, Alex, that it looks quite a serious one. He was having a scan today, but obviously we don't know the results of that scan as yet. But Eddie said it was not very good, and it's a shame because he's a quality footballer.
Yeah, that's a shame. Regardless of whether we think he's been great or not since the season where he helped us out, it's just an extra body, isn't it? It's an experienced head who's got a lot of minutes in the Premier League. He's been with us for quite a while now. He understands what's expected of him. And with all the fixture congestion, regardless of quality, he'll be okay. He'll be useful, but now he's not an option. So, however, mini blessing in disguise, it does mean Lewis Hall's going to get more minutes. So, which I think we would all prefer. No disrespect to Matt Targett, and it's very unfortunate for Matt Targett. However, I would prefer to develop, Lewis Hall a bit more. It means he's possibly going to get better development out of this year than he would have done, because he'll probably get a few more minutes. And I think maybe compensation for having not had any minutes really so far. It's been very minimal, hasn't it? So
yep. Iosy Link says, revered Mr. Paul, do you have any plan of restraining Alex in any sort for when you will be welcoming, obviously, Alice from that football channel on your channel, as we know how he gets unleashed when face-to-face with a Manc? Well, funny enough, I've been speaking to Alice tonight, and we're hopefully getting her on next week, one night next week. So we're just arranging a time where we're all available to do it. So that is great news. So Alice will be coming on, and I know a lot of you have wanted that to come on. She obviously does 2 football channels on YouTube. That is one of them, the ECILA. But she's very complimentary about Newcastle United, and but it would be good to get her thoughts on Manchester United as well, and where they are heading, or where she sees their future, as well as a sort of downward spiral. Be nice, guys. Be nice. I
think she speaks sense, to be fair.
She does speak a lot of sense, yeah. Hell says, poor old Man U, it's such a tragedy. Let's investigate why they lost. Answer, we are effing mint. Yeah, it was simple as that. We got a £10 super chat from Doug from the Dugout channel. Thank you very much.
I was literally just thinking about Doug based on the context of having a guest on. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, how's fatherhood, Doug? That is the question. Are you coping? Are you sleeping well? I bet you're absolutely loving it. Congratulations to all for that win against Manchester United. And as it's bonfire night this weekend, I fully expect fireworks tomorrow between Howe and Arteta. Confidence will be high for sure. Doug is going for a 2-1 Newcastle United win. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm confident. I said in the earlier video that I did today that I'm confident. I'm confident in Newcastle United really getting something out of the game. The main thing is not to lose it, but I think we've got a huge ability to go out there and win. But I did mention the atmosphere in my earlier video. The atmosphere has got to be up there tomorrow again, because the last home game was very disappointing.
Yes, we want the atmosphere to be at 11, turn up to 11 for 90 minutes. It's got to be that way. We saw how Arsenal crumbled under that pressure the season before last. The players did out that, of course. They played fantastic that night. Last season, we played quite well, not as well as the previous season, but Arsenal were up for it a bit more last year. So it's going to be a hard game for us. But we need to win it, really, to kind of close the gap on that top 5 above us. Just a little tiny gap opening. And if we can beat Arsenal, it kind of closes that to them and gets us back into that Champions League race in a more conclusive way, I think. So, important game for us. But one I think we can definitely win out. Absolutely. I think, the confidence has to be high. It's been such a long time since we lost in the league. Has to be high.
Now, one thing that Eddie did say right at the end of the press conference, but wasn't highlighted in the stuff I read, was on Sven Botman, and it turns out that it looks like he might need surgery, which is not good news, Alex.
Who said this?
Eddie Howe.
Oh dear. I mean, oh dear. Just a massive oh dear. I mean, the only thing that makes me feel marginally better is that Paul Dummett's put in 2 reasonably good performances, if not very good performances. The last 2 times he's been required, and Kraft has obviously come in as a makeshift centre half. It's not something you want to be doing regularly because you're tempting fate there, because mistakes will happen. They won't be able to. It's not there, So, but it is what it is. We'll just have to battle through it. But theoretically, now we've got some depth on paper. You could argue with Lascelles, Cher, Dummett, and Kraft. Obviously, it's not ideal. However, it's and Burn if necessary, but. It's not ideal, but the players are there. So it's more about, I'd say generally it's more about the forwards and sort of Wilson managing his minutes, and then Gordon having to do, 2 positions sometimes although he was marvellous up front for us. To be fair, I've seen recently, actually, today on my lunch break, I did see that he was getting a lot of plaudits from a lot of stat people and neutrals and scouting channels and Twitters and tactics. So there's loads of people who actually had a look at his performance. I mean, it's what we stated the other night. It was a very selfless performance from him, and a lot of people giving him a lot of praise for it, for his unselfish runs.
Those in the chat saying that Eddie didn't say that, he did, and Julie's backed us up. He basically said could be surgery. So they're going to see how he goes. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that it's surgery yet, but it could be. If it doesn't, I would imagine it's because if it's not healing properly, Billy, then they'll give it a bit longer. If not, then he may have to have surgery to put it right.
Well, it's been 4, 5, 6 weeks now, hasn't it, since he had done the actual injury, and we've kind of said it's going to be 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. I'm guessing they've rested it, trying not to have the operation. Hasn't come right. So, as you just said there, give it another week or two. If it hasn't come right by then, get him in and get him operated on. And in the end, that's the way to do it, I think. If it's not being fixed by vested, you've got to get him under the knife, surely.
Yep, exactly. Ron Peacock, thank you for your £10 super chat. Very kind, my buddy. He says, cheers, lads, for all the hard work you put into the shows. You are very welcome. Thank you for watching. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5. He says, hi, guys. You at the game tomorrow, Paul? No, I'm still not right to go to the games, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will be. So, but at the minute, no. I'm really, really pissed off with it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I have to take my health first, unfortunately, and that's the way it is. But you know what? I don't mind doing the commentary, though, especially the way it is at the minute. We're playing really well. We're getting some fantastic feedback about the commentaries that me and Billy are putting together for you, and obviously Alex's analysis at half and full time, and then, of course, Billy and Alex doing the instant reactions. We've had some fabulous, really positive remarks on everything that we do on match day. So long may that continue. Davey says, we have to have someone lined up as soon as the window opens in January, not the back end of it. Ian says, at least surgery, it will be sorted. Exactly. And I mean, there's obviously a little sort of recovery time from the surgery, but if it's got to be done, it's got to be done. Alex, have you got any graphics tonight?
I've got the pre-made ones. I've not got my ones.
That's fine. That is fine.
But yeah, we can pop them up. Interesting point there about we do need somebody who can hit the ground running in January, and I completely agree with that. We've made a lot of signings that are sort of long-term progressive signings. We could do with something possibly a little bit more impactful straight away.
Yeah.
Right, let's just get to the right window. There we go. Oh, we don't want to be Bet365. There we go. So this is FOTMob's predicted lineup for both of us. So they've gone with Raya in goal, with Rice, Jorginho, Odegaard as the midfielders, and then quite an expected back line for them, with Tomiyasu as White as the fullbacks and Gabriel and Saliba as the centre halves, and then Martinelli left, Saka right, and Ketia up front. So it's pretty expected. We could do with Gordon and Miggy having an absolute romp of a day, as I think that's where we get at this team. We could do with our midfielders being energetic and free flowing, because Jorginho is not a spring chicken anymore. However, they've got Rice, who is an upgrade on Granit Xhaka massively. We didn't beat Arsenal last year, and they've upgraded since then. So we've got to be fully on our game. Obviously, we're at home, and the predicted lineup for us, I think we're all pretty in agreement with this. I think it picks itself. The back line coming, with Burn, Cher, Lascelles, and Trippier obviously back in, Pope back in goal. The default midfield of Joe Linton, Bruno, and Longstaff, and then the front three of Gordon, Wilson, and Almiron. Any comments on this before I move to the?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, Billy, I don't know what you think of this, but looking at those two predicted lineups, it should be one hell of a game of football.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad Gabriel Jesus is out, because I think that could be the difference between us winning the game and us losing it. There's definitely a drop off between him and Nketiah, and I'm a fan of Nketiah, and he scored a hat trick in his last game.
I was going to say, Billy, you were.
I am a fan. I'm a massive fan of him.
It was about a year ago, Alex. We can remember Billy never stopped saying we should go and sign Nketiah.
I'm a massive fan of his, but he's not Jesus. Jesus is, to me, he's elite. He's world class. He's a fantastic centre forward. But Nketiah's not quite at that level yet, but I think he will get there. Maybe not to the level of Jesus, but he's a quality player. But it's a definite drop off. So I'm glad that Jesus is out because he really is a clever player.
Tomiyasu's an interesting one at left back.
Definitely to be got out of there if
Both
you're
fullbacks.
Miggy.
Both
Both
fullbacks for
fullbacks.
me.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Ben White did not have a good game midweek. In fact, he was terrible. Of course, he was originally a centre back, wasn't he? So similar to Dan Burn, Ben White was a centre back at Brighton, but he's been moved out to right back now for Arsenal. I just think he can be got at. I think Anthony Gordon will be, chomping at the bit to get at him. And Miggy on the other side, I think he can get at Tomiyasu. I just think that, both sides, looking at those two predicted lineups, have extremely good attacking options, and it should be one of those games that is end to end. But I just hope we get a stamp on the game and Arsenal lose their heads a little bit.
I think it's going to. I think it's all there for an absolute classic. If I'm perfectly honest, an absolute
With Willock
classic.
as a substitute option as well.
Yep.
And let's face it, both goalkeepers haven't been great the last couple of weeks. Certainly Raya has been all over the shop, trying to play out from the back. He's been, you talk about Nick Pope's distribution. Raya's has been absolutely shocking. And he's made some errors. He is really under pressure again since Arteta put him in ahead of Ramsdale. And Nick Pope is Nick Pope, I guess. We'll be looking for a much more confident display from him coming out and catching the ball maybe instead of punching.
Well, Arsenal got two goalkeepers who are both massively devoid of confidence. And I think it's something we can definitely capitalise on. Nick Pope doesn't seem to have that kind of problem. He'll have a bad game one week, superb the week after. So I'm hoping it kind of goes in that kind of circle, because last time he met Adam Cutler-Vale, the next game, he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? I think the game after that, he was superb. So it didn't seem to suffer that confidence-wise like that. But the two Arsenal goalkeepers, you saw the state what bloody Ramsdale did Wednesday. It was horrific, some of the things he was doing. And last Saturday or Sunday when they played Chelsea, the Raya was awful. Let's be honest, awful. And I thought he was a great goalkeeper at Brentford. I thought he really did well at Brentford and helped them stay up, to be honest. He was probably the best goalkeeper in the league that season, behind Ederson and Alisson. But for Arsenal, it just doesn't seem to have cut it so far. I don't know if it's big club syndrome or what, but we shall see. I think it's someone to get at, without a doubt.
Indeed. Jason Scott, by the way, just mentions people have been saying about bringing Minter back. He's injured. So I don't think there's any point bringing him back at the minute.
I wouldn't anyway. I
think he's there for the full season. I agree, Alex. Definitely.
I think half of, I don't want to say you lot, that's really rude, but I think maybe 10 or 20% of our fans, as soon as he puts a foot wrong, because he's young, he's ill-disciplined. If you go and watch a Feyenoord game, instead of watching a highlight of when he scores, go watch some actual highlights or watch a game. He's
got a lot to learn.
Ill-disciplined, like he's got a lot to learn. And Eddie Howe demands a lot of his players in terms of tactical understanding of exactly where you need to be in every scenario on the pitch, transition, offensively, build-up play, everything. Like there's so much he would demand. He wouldn't be ready to just come back in January and just play. It would be like, it could work, but it would be a case of he wouldn't be able to do what everyone else can do. It would be, right, you get subbed on and just go do stuff, because he wouldn't understand everything. That's obviously, he's a footballer. He's been trained and drilled, and he understands what he needs to do to a level. Yep. But the way we play, there's a reason why everybody is placed to such a high standard. I mean, look at the data. I know we're supposed to be looking here at Arsenal, but look at that nice little crest that keeps popping up in some of the background ones. Goals per match, we're top 2.6. Villa are above us because of alphabetical order. XG, Liverpool have just creeped ahead of us by 0.2. But we're second in the league for expected goals. We're up in all the positive metrics. But again, so are Arsenal. 5 clean sheets this season, which is the best in the league. One of the best defensive records as well, with 0.8 goals conceded per match, which is pretty. That's not bad considering we're talking about defensive errors. If you take away their defensive errors, which is in their control, you could argue if they tidied up their defensive mistakes, their goals conceded per match would be the best in the league. So this is factoring in they're making defensive errors with goalkeepers. They're still that good, which is frightening, to be fair. So their underlying numbers are outrageous in certain in areas. But yeah, so goals per match 2.3, enormous as well. Still behind us, but we're massive. Possession 60%, 61% possession. So we know what they're about. Big chances created. I thought this was an interesting one and worth highlighting. Not not a lot of high value opportunities. However, look at who there is who's in first place again. With,
Well, that would
with
be us,
another very,
Alex. Yeah.
well, another very, a good team to watch. Very easy
Isn't
on the
it?
eye is us
There's
and
an
Brighton.
interesting question, isn't it? I mean, Villa were above us in alphabetical order for the goals. The goals scored. Yeah, we were above Brighton in
Right,
alphabetical order. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, Fot Mob are just rolling the dice there. They're doing whatever. But yeah, big chances created. So maybe that just highlights possibly some quality. They've obviously got some very, very high standard players with Saka and Martinelli. They're scoring a lot of impressive goals, a lot of decent team goals. Whereas we're more of a, take the shot when you really need to take the shot, when you're in the perfect position. We'll tend to recycle it 2, 3, 4, 5 times until we create a good chance. We don't tend to hit them, hit and hope for too many of those, to be completely honest. And then they're sort of top 5, top 6 for a lot of important metrics, accurate crosses. I mean, interceptions and tackles, they're not going to have as many of because they have most of the ball. Penalties awarded, they've got 6. Most penalties awarded in the league. Should we be concerned about that? I mean, Lascelles, steady on, lad, tomorrow, please. Saves per match, least. Again, these are all kind of irrelevant statistics because they see a lot of the ball. So, yeah, in terms of yellow cards and red cards, they're not very negligible. It's not like Wolves when we were talking about sort of the dirtiness of the game and the potential there. Very, very different. But yeah, they'll definitely give us a game, and it's quality all over the pitch and experience. I do fully expect Jorginho to be annoying. I do think Jorginho. It depends what mood he's in. If he's not in the right mood, he's terrible because he's got no legs left, and you can bully him, and he's awful. However, if he turns up, if he turns up in any capacity and his head's on right, he is elite, and I hate him. I hate him because he's a cheat. He tries to cheat off everything. He'll cheat off a throw-in. He'll do anything to get anything. He's one of those, and I hate him. But we've got to be so careful of him in the middle. Again, it depends if Havertz has any role in this game. I don't think he's injured, so we'll have to see if Havertz.
I think Joe Linton will get at him tomorrow. He'll get right at Jorginho. Jam Stasher says, is anyone coming back from their injury soon? Anderson or anyone? No, and I did see a picture today of the Miley brothers who were visiting somewhere. Jamie has a brace on his leg, and obviously Lewis is recovering from glandular fever. So Lewis hopefully will be back soon, but Jamie Miley's just nowhere at the minute. He's out for a while. Terraces, I'm not sure whether you're being joking here or not, but he says, do you think we should go for someone like Meslier as potential Pope's replacement? Are we talking about Meslier at Leeds? Terraces, you have to be having a tin bath there, matey, surely. He is awful. I mean, didn't he get dropped from the Leeds side last season?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but we've seen him look good in spells, but he obviously wasn't very good second half of last season. It was
as a replacement for Nick Pope? I don't think so. No.
That's absurd.
Martin says, hi guys, hope is all well. Where do you get the goods for the giveaways? Thinking for Christmas. Where do you get
got 64% save percentage in the championship at the moment, so
he's playing tonight at Leicester. It's on telly now. Well, not yet.
Yeah, but I mean, but it is the championship. Let's not forget that. Big ass bloke says, Minter not even close to being a team player yet. He's like Gordon when he came, but at least 1 to 2 years behind Gordon in development.
That's a fair assessment, to be fair. But again, he's still a child, so he'll be fine.
Yep. Foxy says Minter and Kowal especially not ready for Premier League football. The loan is necessary for them both. Kowal's starting to hit the ground now. He's starting to get going. He scored a few goals lately and is looking decent. So hopefully, I think he's a bit younger than Minter, isn't he? Is he about a year or two younger?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I thought they were about the same age, aren't they? I'll have a look.
I think it's one's 20, one's 19, are they? Similar.
Yeah, around about that, I think.
Minter's 19 years old and 100 days. And Kowal, Garan Kowal is 19 and 49. No, they're basically the same age. 2 or 3 months in it between. They're both 19 at the moment, so.
Interesting. George, thanks for your £5 super chat. He says, sorry you can't make it tomorrow. We miss you. Do you have a friend or family member that can provide a wind shelter for me? Take care, mate, you cheeky twat. In fact, I believe, George, you sit in front of me. The wind comes that way. You block the wind hitting me. So, But we'll not get into that, George. We'll not get into it. Look, I'm going to miss the game, but anyway, we shall now. What am I going to do? Yes, that's what I was going to do. Just give me 2 seconds, gentlemen.
Oh, so annoying he's injured. We only needed like one more appearance to get FB ref data for Minte as well. I was very excited to see that.
Right, the link to join us live on the show is now pinned at the top of the chat. So if you want to come on and have your say, tell us what you thought of Wednesday and Sunday, then you can join us for 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then let us know. Well, we're getting a few already. Very, very quick to react. Jesus.
But yeah,
anyway.
proud luck. That was fast.
Yes, it was. He was a finger on the trigger. So let's bring him on. Good evening, Peter.
Hey. All right.
How are you doing?
Good.
Well, first of all, we'll obviously just ask you what you thought of Wednesday night, because I probably guess you were buzzing, were you?
Absolutely, it was incredible. The way we just blew them away for the whole of the game was just incredible. Even considering the selection we had as well, we just absolutely annihilated them in that match completely.
Yeah. We were rather good, weren't we? I mean, when you saw the team sheet, what was your reaction?
I was like, I can understand the changes were going to come. I knew the changes were going to come because of the games that have been coming thick and fast. So I think we had to rest some players in a way as well. But I expected Livramento to come in. I expected Willock to start as well. I expected Hall to come in as well. And Richie was the one I didn't expect, though, I must admit. But
okay.
Yeah. But got to say, everyone was outstanding. No one put a foot wrong at all.
The thing is, somebody's asking about Jack there. He's going to do his own channel and focusing on that channel and his schoolwork this year. So that's why he's took a step back from the Toon Review. So he's welcome on as a guest anytime, and he knows that. I'll ask you a question. What I'm going to ask everybody tonight, Pete, is Nick Pope or Martin Dubravka? Who starts for you?
It's a hard one. I think Dubravka was really good. He didn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
I would be maybe in a way tempted to see Dubravka, but I think Pope's going to keep his place.
Fair enough. Now, obviously, it's just a sort of quick call today, Pete. So, what do you think the score is going to be against Arsenal?
2-1 Newcastle. I think we can end their unbeaten run. I mean, they'll not be full of confidence after a shambolic performance against West Ham. And when you get at them, they can be rattled, and then they will start to tumble. We've seen that happening before.
Yep. Well, let's hope you're right, Pete. Nice to have you on, matey. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon, buddy.
See you later.
I did read a funny stat yesterday that, and I'd prefer if I could credit somebody. I can't remember who it was. We're the only team in the Premier League still in line for a quadruple. It's the only team where it's still possible. We're in every competition.
You never, ever know. Anyway, those of you that aren't familiar with this next guest, God help yous, because he is our mod on the channel, but he normally is very, very motivational. But if you haven't had a drink, then you probably will after our next guest. We welcome Mr. Reactions.
Good
evening.
Is that
How
better?
are you?
Is it not? It's loud now.
No, it's nice. It's good. It's good.
Isn't it? Honestly, I would watch them back, and you can piss right off if you think I'm only been on for 2 minutes.
You've got a right tranquil background there.
Are you in the toilet?
Well, no. Like obviously, I've moved and that, so like I've got a new house. I'm in a relationship, and like Mr. Reactions and Mr. Happy. But
I believe you have a point to make on Tonali tonight.
Right, it's gonna get me a lot of hate, and honestly, I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off. I really am. It's just not what we need. It's really not. Like everything's been so positive, and everything still is positive. But then you just have this, and yes, I do understand he's got an addiction. That's absolutely fine, and I respect that and stuff. But then it's pick on Newcastle. It's starting to piss me off. It's really getting to us, you know.
I know there's a lot of supporters feeling like that. I just hope that this FA investigation thing just gets carried out really quickly and it gets forgotten about, and we just get on with football rather than talking about Tonali all the time. It's, you know, he's got his ban. Let him get on with it and let us get on with what we need to do.
Do you not feel like, though, like even if it's something so small towards Newcastle, like everyone jumps on it like it's the jugular? You know,
hell yeah.
It's getting on me wake.
Yeah.
You know what that is, don't you? You know what that is, because we're the newcomers to the party and they don't like it.
I know. How do you know why I haven't been on for a while? It's just because we've been winning. Ever since our last come on, we just keep winning, and then we have the odd loss, and then we keep winning and winning. I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, so that means we're going to lose against Arsenal now, then?
Yeah, has my prediction changed?
That's on you, Alex. 3 years for captain, you know. No, do you know what is my honest opinion on Arsenal? I've got a really bad throat, you know. It's the deepest I've ever sounded in my life.
Just don't say things like that when Billy's on with you, man. You know not to say things like that.
No, Newcastle Arsenal. I'm going to say 3-1 to Newcastle.
There you go, job done. Happy days.
I do. But you know what it is? I put my life on it. Arteta gets together, corner something. I just feel like we're going to wind them up.
Yeah, I think that might happen as well. I really do.
Who
would you go for tomorrow? Would you go for Dubravka or Nick Pope?
Dubravka. Do you know what it is?
Really?
That's another thing I want to say. It was so refreshing to see him. Always had a soft spot for our little dubs. Always had a soft spot for him. And do you know what it is for him to keep a clean sheet and for him to beat Man U 3-0? He's definitely the best team, you know. And he looked happy as well. But hey, what was going on with Bruno though? Like now when he was coming off, like in the changing rooms and stuff, was there something wrong with him? Is he injured out?
Well,
he had a hole in his boot.
He got stamped on the foot right at the end of the game from his counterpart named the crap Bruno. So that was probably that. Just an impact injury, will be fine.
Hey, I'll say one last thing, and I promise I'm going to leave you alone. But you know what? The second team really made me proud. Really, really made me proud. Danny, my lad, he's a Mackin through and through, right? And he was like, "Oh, he went look."
Whoa! You did not divulge that information in our WhatsApp group at all. Why have you come to be on camera when you have to announce that your partner is a Mackham?
Because I was.
What are you doing?
I've been half in my past life, aren't I?
I mean, Paul, those in glass houses.
I believe it. I'll smash it.
You have Mackham family members, don't you?
No. He said it was. No, he said
I
it was.
can't choose my family, Alex. He can choose his partner.
No, it's the only thing that I hate about him. But apart from that, listen. At the end of the day,
it's fine. You can change it. Don't worry. You can work on it.
He come out and said, he was like, "Oh, you went. You gotta get hammered. By Man U. You know, look at your team. Look at that." And I went, Don't underestimate. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fuse San Miguel. Don't underestimate Eddie's max." And we come out, and do you know what he said? It's quite funny. He said it. I was in the kitchen. He was like, "Yeah, he's up here doing the millionaire," and that's what it is, and it's classic. But do you know what it is? They need to be really proud of themselves because it was class. It was like watching our first team doing it on the second team. We do have depth now. We do.
We've got a lot of depth.
We're in a very good
who's going to get the goals on Sunday then? Tomorrow, sorry.
Saturday, yeah.
Oh, Almiron. He's going to score.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Linton's going to get 2.
2? Well, I'll be happy if he does. Okay, then. Thank you for coming on, matey, and we'll speak very soon.
Thanks, Mark.
See you soon, buddy. Cheers, Mark.
See you, mate.
Next up, we have Darren. Good evening, bud.
Hello, boys. You all right?
Is that Ruben Neves in a Newcastle shirt?
It is. I think it's easy.
Christ. Hey, not bad at all. Right, Darren. What were your thoughts on Wednesday? Happy, man?
I was shocked, to be fair, because I didn't expect that. You had to make the changes. I went to Wolves last weekend. Trippier was shocking. Dan Burn was shocking. The man of the match was Fabian Shaw.
Oh, God, yeah.
He was bossed the back four. Yeah. Nick Pope, I just don't trust him anymore.
Really?
And I've made my mind up, Paul, because with the ball coming to his feet, you cringe. Yes, he's a good shot stopper. I don't trust him on the ball when he can't kick a ball for shit. I would totally start Martin at the bottom of the mother.
You would start after as well, bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm Nick Pope's lost me, mate. The Wolves game lost me. So I don't think he's a good keeper, but I don't think he's a world class keeper. So I think
he's definitely a good shot stopper, isn't he, Alex? I think it's the crossing that's the problem.
Well, I mean, Dubravka flaps at crosses as well, to be fair.
Well, I know, but I just think Mohamed would a world class goalkeeper. People saying that yes, he's done good for us, but I'm just convinced now by opinion.
I don't think Dubravka's world class either, though. The issue is
Dubravka plays. I agree with Alex. Again, I agree with you, but I just don't. I do think we need another goalkeeper.
But if we played Dubravka for the next 20 matches and asked him to do the same job as Nick Pope, he would make more mistakes because he can't do the sweeper role.
That's your opinion, though.
Yeah, but you could argue that for any goalkeeper.
It's also
the
coaching staff's opinion because that's why they don't do it. But yeah,
but I was saying you're saying that on your opinion. How do you know that? You're not going to know that if you play.
Because they tried Dubravka in the sweeper role in a preseason and went, absolutely no way we're buying a new goalkeeper.
I think we know Dubravka's not a sweeper keeper. I think we know that. But
he's also 34, so it's not.
I think he's better with his feet than Nick Pope.
Oh, I agree with you there. Yeah, 100%. He's a great goalkeeper, but with what we do now with this whole high line,
I think he'd be quicker than Nick Pope on the line in more way.
The thing is, if Billy, I mean, you've had a lot to say about Pope as well. I think if Nick Pope continues to come out and not be as dominant in his box, that is going to worry the four players in front of him. The trust starts to wean away. They're worried about him coming out. Things start to go a bit wrong, don't they? So he needs to improve on what he's doing because he can't keep doing what he's doing.
It's just his injury bad too. He kind of like
his distribution's not as good as Dubravka's, but I mean the game last Saturday against Wolves, I thought in every department really he was really, really poor.
Yeah,
but that's Pope. Next week we see a different Pope. He doesn't do it all the time. It's few and far between. Dubravka, I think if you go up to sweeper keep, we'd be conceding goals left, right, and centre. We really would.
But I just don't trust when the ball gets played to Nick Pope. I think straight defender, I just don't trust him when he's kicking. I think he's very, very vulnerable every time.
I'm worried with him on crosses more than anything. If I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah,
look, he has hesitation. He's doing it all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people have said about that cross at Wolves last week that and they've said, well, some people have actually said, oh, it was a decent punch. It was a terrible punch. It didn't clear the defensive line at all. It went straight to the Wolves player. Yes, the defending after that was poor, but I'll stick by what I said last week. He catches that ball. Wolves do not get that equalizer, right? He catches the ball. We can reset and just give the players a little bit of a breather, and then we get on with the game. And nobody knows what might have happened after that. It could have been a very different game. Wolves might have thrown everything forward. They still might have got an equalizer. But I'm sorry, if he catches that ball, Wolves don't score.
And he's at that age now. You can't learn anymore because he's learned and he's learned enough. But it's just, I think, his judgment. It's very, it's mistiming. You tell he can settle off against Wolves when the ball got played. The ball went past them. He mistimed the ball completely. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Paul's saying there, why does Pope get the blame for Wolves when they walk through our defence?
We're not blaming.
What I'm saying is the defending was terrible, but Pope catches that ball. That doesn't get an opportunity to happen. That's all I'm saying. The defending was shocking after that. Don't get me wrong.
I think it's worth pointing out that the sweeper keepers nowadays, if you look at the dominant teams in the league, right, City and Liverpool don't really count because they've had Alisson and Ederson, and they're very good at doing that. However, outside of those, nobody has got a keeper that is spot on at it. Nobody. Like Manchester United haven't for years with De Gea. They've never got that right. Chelsea have been struggling to try and get this right. As have Arsenal. Arsenal are going through this right now with Raya and Ramsdale. They haven't got this right yet. We haven't got this right yet either. There is nobody outside of Man City and Liverpool that have got this whole sweeper keeper, high line thing correct because it's so difficult to do. So it's not that I do agree Pope's made mistakes and Dubravka would also make mistakes, but there's like 5 goalkeepers in the world that are going to not make mistakes.
They're very different goalkeepers.
Spurs have found one. I think Vicario's
Spurs have found one. Yeah, I reckon so. Those are the saying about the rain and the weather. I'm not having that because goalkeeper gloves these day and ages.
They're
very much
like glue. The gloves are like glue these days.
Yeah,
it was more of a decision than a. And then I think he just went.
Yeah,
I don't want to risk losing the ball. I'm just going to punch it because of that. I think he made a conscious decision to maybe not spill it.
But we've seen a few decisions, we saw him make that air.
A week. He needed to be further than that.
The air kick the other week. Hopefully we get a more sound performance tomorrow if he plays. But what do you think the score is going to be, Darren? Give us your prediction.
I'm going for a 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Mm-hmm. And who's going to get our goal?
I got for Mickey. I think Mickey again.
Mickey again? Yeah. Nice one. Right. Thanks for coming on, Darren. Good discussion. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon, buddy.
Bye.
So that was Darren. Next up, we have Tom. Good evening, Tom.
Evening. You all right, lads?
Hi, Tom.
Not too bad, bud. What do you think of Wednesday, then? Well, I know what you think of Wednesday, but you can tell the rest of the guys.
Absolutely outstanding. By the way, just to go back to the point Billy made about Bruno Fernandes. His name's B-Tech Bruno.
B-Tech Bruno, yeah.
B-Tech Bruno.
Yeah. C-Tech Bruno.
Well, yeah. What a fantastic result, wasn't it? I mean, to do that with the way with squads being so stretched, absolutely outstanding. I can't really say any different to what's already been said, really. Dubravka did really well, but I think I do think Pope comes back in for Arsenal game. I think he's the first choice keeper. That he's not world class, but neither is Dubravka, as you just said. I think Pope edges it for me. I was very annoyed with him punching it last week against Wolves. I agree with what you said. If he just caught and held on to it, Wolves would.
I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, Nick Pope's won us a lot of points as well.
Let's
not all talk about Nick Pope in a negative way. Nick Pope's been a fantastic goalkeeper for us, and I'm not trying to put him down. I'm just saying that his decision making could be better, but he has won us an awful lot of points.
Dubravka's decision making could be better as well, but we're in a position where we haven't got a world class goalkeeper. What we've got is, well, certainly with Pope and Dubravka, we've got two very good goalkeepers. Probably Karius is there as well, So three very good goalkeepers, but not world class at the moment. And I think out of them, it's Pope that edges it at the moment. On the balance of everything.
Well, Kenny's saying there, not sure why we're sixth and slagging players off. We're not slagging players off. There's a difference between talking about decision making and who should start over who. We're not slagging anybody off, and I think that's what gets taken out of context sometimes.
If players have made mistakes, you're allowed to say they've made mistakes. It doesn't mean you're saying they're a crap player or this or that.
You're not slagging them off. You just you can't say that Nick Pope hasn't made some bad decisions. He has. But he's also made some wonderful saves for us. So, there is a balance there. It's just sometimes, I think it's with any goalkeeper though, Alex, that sometimes their decisions, it's not like an outfield player where a bad pass can be let off with that. If a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it normally leads to a goal against, which gets, the focus is on them more than it is a player giving away a bad pass.
Yeah, I can't really say anything because you've just summed it up perfectly. Exactly that, and it's ridiculous. But I think the more important thing to talk about is the style of play that we need to try and play. And if people can disagree with me, but if we play Dubravka for the next 20 fixtures and ask him to do exactly the same role, we will concede way more goals. Because that's not Dubravka is an exceptional keeper and he's been very good for us for a long time. However, that's just not his game.
I think people need to realise that this,
pre-season,
this is a Newcastle United channel, and we debate things. It's a debate sometimes, and it's not slagging anybody off. It's not getting on anyone's back. It's a debate. Should Dubravka or Pope start? Many people ask that question. It's just a debate.
Again, the difference between the two is quite simple. If you ask Martin Dubravka to sweeper keep, he hesitates. He doesn't know when to go and when not to go.
Yeah.
Pope knows when to go. and when not to go.
And let's not forget, Nick Pope made that save against Leicester, and that's been highlighted in the chat.
Yeah, he did.
That got us into the Champions League, because that save in the last seconds of the game was just world class. But what you going for? Sorry, Alex, go on.
I'm just going to say it's worth pointing out as well. I don't want to take anything away from the performance, but Dubravka's role in that game against Manchester United was make sure you stay focused for the 25-yard shots and don't give it to the centre halves.
Yeah, spectator. He was a spectator for 99% of the game. Let's be honest.
It's obviously we can only rate him on what he did, but yeah, he was a focused goalkeeper who shot stops 25-yard shots, which we would expect him to do that unless it's an absolute worldie, and then he didn't play out from the back because we decided against that because it was Paul Dammit and Graf as centre halves. So you've got to take that into context as well.
Indeed. Right. There's two more coming on before the end of the show, and then we'll give you our team predictions and score predictions. Tom, what are you going for?
I'd agree with Darren. I think looking at a score and draw ones each, maybe.
Okay, no problem. Who's going to score, do you think?
We'll go for Wilson.
Nice one, Tom. Speak to you soon, buddy.
I don't know if I can get you. I don't know if I can get you programs from Dortmund. Mind, apparently they don't do programs over there anymore. So
no worries, mate.
Oh, really?
They do rallies with the manager speaking in front of thousands of paying people.
I'm sure you're gonna have a cracking time anyway, Tom. All right, speak to you soon, buddy.
See you later.
Tom. Just got to rein Billy back in there for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was off on a tangent there. And I'm glad Alex spotted that. He was away. Yeah,
for a trial there.
Definitely. We do have a poll up at the moment, guys. Just who starts, Pope or Dubravka? Let's see what you guys think. I'll be very interested to see the results of
Paul's
that.
using polls.
I am using
so impressed.
Polls, yes. Right, we've got Tony coming on next, and then Ryan to finish us off. Tony, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
We are good. How are you?
Well, not so bad, thank you. Looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
With let's just say renewed confidence following the result on Wednesday.
What did you think of that when you saw the team sheet? Did you think it was just going to be, go out and give it our best, and then just, maybe the Carabao Cup's not ours this year, and then the match kicks off, and it's a different story. Yeah,
exactly that. But what we saw was a team. It was eight different players from the weekend.
Yeah,
and they each slotted in, and they each had a job to do. They knew what to do, and they knew when to do it. And we had 11 players there, including Dubravka, playing as a team. And it's a long time since Newcastle have been able to do that.
Absolutely.
With that kind of depth.
Who stood out for you on Wednesday, Tony?
Oh my God.
Well, he wasn't playing.
No, maybe he was. Maybe he was looking over.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yes, undoubtedly.
I think the man of the match is probably Tino. He's the run that he made for the first goal, because first goal, regardless of when it is scored, first goal is always important. And if you can get it, it puts the opposition on the back foot. And Lewis Hall's finish, well, out of this world, wasn't it?
Superb, wasn't it? But turning to Sunday, Tony, who would you start in goal?
Oh, that's hard. It would be very harsh to drop Dubravka, but I think Nick Pope was bought to be our number one goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And so I think, in all fairness to him, he would have to start. You could say that Dubravka is more used to having players of lesser quality than Schär and Botman in front of him. But with Botman out till we don't know when, and I don't know if Schär's going to be fit on Saturday either.
Yeah, Eddie did say he was. I can't remember what he said actually. Suffering from something, but I think how many times has he said that though? Fabian shares this and Fabian shares that, and then he plays the day after, and he plays like a Terminator. So I wouldn't make very much of that at all.
No.
What you predicting, then, Tony?
I think we'll win.
Yeah.
I think we'll win 2-1. And I think Anthony Gordon will score. I think he's due a goal. And I think Callum Wilson.
Cool. Well, hopefully you're right, matey. Tony, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, buddy.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. See you
no
soon.
problem at all. Speak soon.
Yeah.
Good night.
Ta-ra.
Yeah, mate.
So that was Tony. We'll bring Ryan on in just a second, our final guest. Guys, we have over 800 people watching, but only 315 likes. Shameful, guys. Come on. Just take 2 seconds out right now just to hit the thumbs up button, guys. Let's see if we can get it up as close to 600 as possible by the end of the stream. You guys are legendary for doing this, so let's see if we can do it again. And don't forget, you can donate to the channel by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments as well, which immensely helps us out as well. And you get your comment read straight out as a bonus. Right, our final guest for tonight is the Canuck, another one of our mods. Ryan, good evening.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right.
Not too bad. You in your dark dungeon again?
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. Right, I know you were quite elated on Wednesday, but it was just an incredible performance, wasn't it, given the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I think what impressed me the most is that it's like our BC team, but yet you could tell with like the amount of like hundreds of hours of training that they're able to like incorporate the style of play that Eddie Howe was always come in from day one and try to implement, and it was great. And it helped even more just because like Man United's like midfield was like there's nothing. It was like Bagel FC, nothing in the middle at all.
Yeah.
So it was great, but I think I'm more here just because the media coverage, like from what I've seen, is just awful. Like I get it, they're the home team, Man United, but it's all about them. And you know, in comment sections like on TalkSport, like some of the videos I've seen, and they all talk about Man United. Some Geordies in the comments are like, "Why aren't you talking about us?" And then like these rival fans, Man United, it's like, "Why would we talk about Newcastle? They haven't won in 67 years or whatever." It's like, well, just the jealousy just creeping in. It's just, it's to the point where it's beyond. It's not irritating. It's pulling me away from just the love of like everything. Like, I just think there's like a level.
Why do you think we don't watch TalkSport anymore and stuff like? That's why a lot of people watch this channel.
I seriously need
got involved in things like this because of the biased media, because we wanted the place to be a
that's why I'm off. That's why I'm off of Twitter now too. Like you're just dealing with 20-year-old like keyboard warriors all the time. Like it's worthless.
From Kenya or Ghana or somewhere as well. You know.
And they have a blue tick as well. Like, what are you doing, buddy? But yeah,
I mean, look, the thing is, right? You know, the media coverage, Billy, was very, after the game, Gary Neville, etc., were very, very complimentary about Newcastle. But it was mainly the following day. We spoke about this last night. Sky Sports, etc. Every hour ran a story interviewing Man United fans, who, by the way, there wasn't one fan that they interviewed had a Manchester accent. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they all did not have a Manc accent. It was unbelievable.
Any video they do, they never.
Well, that's very, very true.
They're all into Rovers, weren't they?
Into Rovers and a Betty's Hot Pot and all that kind of stuff. Where do you stand, Ryan, on the Pope Dubravka debate?
I'd probably just edge with Nick Pope just because he's been our number one choice for a while, and Dubravka's just thrown into a cup game, and to be honest, didn't really have to do anything besides one shot from Dalot and Mason Mount. But and like people are giving him credit, like fair enough, but like he wasn't. You look at it now, like he wasn't really all that challenged. And,
I think it was his distribution that everybody was really pleased with, the sort of chipped passes to the fullbacks, etc. So I think
I think that was good. But I think if you look at the ultimatum, like the bigger picture, like are both of them good enough to win like a title for us in the future? No, but they're the least of our worries right now as a goalkeeper. So, and we all know PIF's ambitious enough not to buy anyone in January. So I'm sure like we'll probably buy another winger or like some like marquee class loan, maybe like a Callum Phillips, for example, to fill in for Tonali. So we'll see.
So turning to tomorrow night, it'll be tomorrow afternoon for you, I guess. But big game against Arsenal. Arsenal unbeaten in the league this season. Challenging up there again as we expect them to. Arteta's done a really good job. As much as he's an idiot sometimes on the sidelines, he has done a good job. You have to give him credit. Yeah. But it's Alex put the teams up before. It's very, very exciting lineups, predicted lineups.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you could see like exploits that they can have for us. We could exploit them certain ways. Like someone like Martinelli, I have a bit of fear over him against Trippier. I think our midfield can go toe to toe with them, especially if they play Kai Havertz in midfield.
Well, Alex, Kai Havertz.
I'm just reading the chat. I just want to clear it that Ryan is not a drug kingpin or a drug lord. By the way,
no, he's not. He's not grown dodgy stuff.
I know the dungeon is rather ominous, but
it's just
the light's better for when he's on camera when it's like that, I guess.
It's so just it's flannel weather, guys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to watch 24-hour photo after this.
I thought Alex was giving a dirty look to my opinions. I was like, wait, what's going on?
No. Billy, I think that went over everybody's head by mine, mate. Quality. I mean, look, Alex, Kai Havertz, I don't see what the fuss is about Kai Havertz. He was rubbish at Chelsea. He's been rubbish at Arsenal. I just think he's a lazy ass, me. Every time I've seen Kai Havertz play, I think he's lazy.
The wolf wants to be on camera.
Yeah, blame it on the dog.
Yeah, blame it on the boogie, actually. So I reckon, if he starts in midfield for Arsenal, we can dominate him.
I mean, I don't know. I think people are giving him a bad rep. I think he's a much better player. I mean, I've got him on screen if you want to put some data up.
If we have to.
I mean, he's better than people are giving him credit for.
He's on
a lot of money, but there you go. So
the thing is, just by
this guy's on £280,000 a week, man.
To sit on their bench most of the time as well.
See, this is where stats could just like kind of be misused. But like, if you just you just gotta go purely off the eye test first. The guy's just not it for me. Not at all.
I think he's a good player.
I think he's a good player. I just don't think he suits Arsenal style. I don't know why they bought him. I'll be honest.
I don't think he's a good player.
And the problem is that
give it 6 months and everybody.
I think he's living off.
But they said that at Chelsea, Alex. Give him 6 months at Chelsea, and that never happened either.
Yeah, but look what happened to everyone at Chelsea.
Well, granted, yes, but
I think that's an isolated case.
It's just desperation for their fans to make it work out. That's just like the sentiment.
I've got no buy-in in Arsenal. I've got no reason to support the player.
I'm just saying in
general. Dan Burn, I think he's an idiot. However, I think he's a much better player than people give him credit for.
Well, Foxy says he was a beast at Leverkusen, and he was a beast at Leverkusen, to be fair. And
Foxy says just said it there. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you let me finish, Alex, he says his problem is he doesn't have a position that suits the Premier League.
He's one of those that he'll disappear back to the Bundesliga or Ligue 1 and will absolutely tear up the league.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. A manager has to kind of, if they're going to buy him, build the side around him, and no one.
He's a great player, but it's just, it's not really working at the moment, and it hasn't worked for a few years. But there definitely is I would argue, a world-class player in there. It's just being completely overlooked.
Of course, will the beef with Dan Burn continue? That is the question. But anyway, Ryan, what score are you going for?
I think we'll win 2-1, to be honest. I think we'll have adrenaline from the Man United game against all odds is what I was like looking at from us before. I think 2-1. Like, I think it's a big game. The crowd's going to get up for it. The players will thrive off it. 2-1. I'd say. I think I'm going to go with Almiron and Willock to score. I think let's go with Saka to score for Arsenal. And this is huge for them too, because they're the ones saying that they're in a title race. Well, they want to compete. They got to come to grounds like St. James's and try to put something up. And if we win, like, the tides could turn and the media would be like, oh, Newcastle are serious also about competing too. So it's going to be a good game. Fair
enough. Right. Thank you very much for coming on, Ryan.
You're a prepper. You're doomsday prepper. You do give off a doomsday prepper vibe tonight. You got corrugated iron around the basement.
Oh, dear me. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
See you, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Speak to you soon, mate. Good night. So that was Ryan there. I just want to pull this comment up because I'm fed up with this. Seriously, Pope or Man U reject. You were turning people off the channel, and I'm really sorry for saying this for this Brill channel. It's called a debate. We have to, look for the 90,000th time, right? This is a Newcastle United channel where we debate things. It's not like we're getting on anybody's back. It's just like a television show where you debate stuff. You have a conversation. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing? If we're just going to talk about nothing all the time, we may as well not be on camera. All we're doing is making conversation with people just to see what people's opinions are. We're certainly turning no one off the channel. I think that's a ridiculous statement to make. Just because we're having a debate.
Comments from him before, and I've noted it last week. In all honesty, mate, if you watch any channel to do with NUFC, all of them will say Pope made mistakes at Wolves. Dubravka had a good game on Wednesday. Everybody's going to say that, and everybody will have the conversation. Should we try Dubravka? Like, it's completely fine to have this conversation. It doesn't mean we're giving up on Pope. It's completely fine to have that.
Isn't that what football's all about?
But if it's going off the channel,
and
every other channel will have that conversation. Whether they're good, bad channels, mediocre channels, whether you hate them or love them, every channel will probably have that conversation. So it's a completely silly comment.
But it's not just Newcastle channels. Any football channel that you go and watch, they will debate. When they've got a presenter and hosts, the presenter will put forward questions to the host and to the viewers to spark a debate. And that's what it's all about, to get everybody's opinions on that particular debate. So tonight has been mainly a debate about Dubravka or Pope. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. And if you think that Pope should be, if he thinks that Pope should be defended, explain why, and don't just bash the channel. Explain why you think we're saying the wrong things, and we'll have a proper conversation like we do with everyone in chat. Like, that's how it works.
I mean, John Adams, thank you for your $5 New Zealand dollars. He says some extra motivation incentive for the first team tomorrow after the awesome team gave this week. So 2-0 to Newcastle, Miggy and Gordon, says John. Indeed. Jam Stasher says it would be boring if we all agreed on various subjects. Mark makes a good point. It's the same as talking about football in the boozer, and that's what we try and make it like on this channel. Just mates talking about football. Billy?
Yeah, 100%. It's a legitimate argument to have. I mean, Martin Dubravka, whilst he was a spectator for 90% of the game of the day, had a good game. And Nick Pope last Saturday didn't have a good game. You can ask questions like that. Of course you have to.
Yeah.
Myself personally, I'll be picking Nick Pope tomorrow. I think all three of us would.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Now it's time for the team prediction from us. And I think we're all going to give the same team, to be honest. I'll go first and then see if these guys agree with me. But I'm going Nick Pope in goal, Trippier, Byrne, centre-backs of Lascelles and Shea, if he's fit, which I think he will be. Bruno, Longstaff, Joe Linton, and a front three of Anthony Gordon, Callum Wilson, and Miguel Almiron. Any of you guys differ from that lineup, guys?
Same, the one that was shown on screen.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah. Okay, so it's time for the all-important score predictions now. So get them in the chat. Let me see what you guys think. Alex, we'll start with you this week. What score are you going for tomorrow?
Going to go for a 2-0. 2-0 win.
Ooh.
I think we're up for it. I think Wilson's been rested, which is vital. I think we've had a few big hitters rested. Trippier's been rested. We've not done the business against them recently, and I think we're due a win against them. I think we've made a few silly defensive mistakes and conceded goals that we don't normally do. So I fully back us to clean up our act and focus defensively and to bang in a couple of goals at home. I want to see a 2-0 victory with a Callum Wilson double.
Double for Callum. Billy, where are you going with it?
I think there'll be goals. I think home advantage is the important thing here. And I think we'll win 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Who's going to get the goals?
Wilson, Almiron, and Longstaff.
Interesting. Jimmy Jones, our resident hammer, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. He says, I'm not even tuned, but I'm here for the debate. Pub talk was a great comment. Absolutely was. That's what we do. Lots of confidence in the chat, it's fair to say. We're going for another win, a couple of draws here and there. I'm going with Billy. I'm going 3-1. I think if we start well, then I think we win the game, and I think there's goals in it for us. Given, I think Anthony Gordon can get at Ben White. I think on the other side, whoever plays at left back, possibly is going to be Tomiyasu. I think Miggy can get the beating of him. It's just about putting the chances away again. Hopefully Callum will get a few and he'll bag a couple. I think he'll get 2 tomorrow, and I'm going with Joe Willock to score from the bench. I think he's starting the bench tomorrow. He'll come on with about half an hour to go, and he'll bag the third when it's 2-1. I think against Arsenal, very, very difficult to keep a clean sheet. Obviously, Arsenal have some very, very good strike power, and I think we'll do well to either get a clean sheet or get one against us tomorrow. But I'm hopeful. I'm very confident. And why not, given the way we've been playing lately? So let's do it again, and let's just have a wonderful 3 points. The result of the poll, by the way, let's just have a look. Right, who starts for you? Nick Pope, the winner, with 73% of the votes. Bear in mind, we had 329 votes in 10 minutes or so. That's incredible. So there we go. 27% said Dubravka. So yes, it's swaying towards Nick Pope. Of course it is. He's been our first choice goalkeeper all season, and no reason to change it. But all we did was bring up a debate about, if it continues and he makes more mistakes, does Eddie Howe, take him out the firing line for a bit? But we'll listen. Like Billy says, he could have one bad. Well, he does have. He's had a bad game at Wolves. He's made a mistake. However, he'll be brilliant tomorrow. And I fully expect that to happen. So that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody that came on and had a little bit of a chat with us about what they think is going to happen tomorrow and about Wednesday and the debates that we have on the channel. Really appreciate all the super chats, new members. Thank you so much, Mod Squad. And of course, thank you to Billy and Alex. But what are you looking so confused for?
I just got a YouTube notification for the United stand going live.
Something you want to tell us, Alex?
You bloody prat.
Yeah, bloody prat.
Why is it? I just don't understand why my YouTube's doing that. Why is it recommending it to me?
I don't know. You might be.
It's right at the top of my YouTube.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I thought you were going to get Malaysian street views.
Billy. Let's not go there. Yes, Ian Skinner, it's nice to have you out of jail, and apologies again. The mods had a Castor. It happens from time to time. But yeah, you go on, name and shame, Billy. You know what it is? It could have been any of the mods, but you've got to name them. Just a disgrace.
No. What someone's comment? I wasn't naming and shaming him. It's what his comment you just made.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Level 7 Dave.
Who?
Level 7 Dave. I didn't see it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've seen it now. I've seen it now. Yeah, I've seen it now. But thank you very much for watching. Me and Billy will be back at 5 p.m. tomorrow for the watch along. Half an hour's build up with team news and getting all your thoughts in before the match and see where we go and how you think we're going to do once you've seen the team sheet. Alex will join us at half-time and full-time again for his analysis. And then, of course, Billy and Alex will do the instant reaction for our Patreon page. That is halfway down the description if you want to go and subscribe and be a patron there. That also helps out the channel a lot as well, guys. And it's extra content from us away from the camera. So thank you very much for watching. You guys make the show what it is. Really do appreciate it. And we will see you back here at 5 p.m. tomorrow for the watch along. Big game, 3 points, hopefully. Oops. My thumb slipped there. Daisy always tries to sneak in there. Well, at least I won't get copyrighted. It was only on for 2 seconds. We're not allowed to play that anymore, funny enough. But never mind. Right, this is the goodbye. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you at 5 tomorrow. Good night.
However, lads and lasses.
Come back and check on some green.